But it's all about the notion, something called navigation freedom, freedom of navigation. Japan, by the way, it's a treaty ally of the United States. It's got tens of important bases for U.S. Forward deployment forces. It depends entirely on the free and safe passage of goods and people over the sea connections. It's an island nation right on the fringe of the Eurasian landmass. So it's vulnerable if the water route that connects Japan with the Arabian Gulf region gets very much threatened. And that's what seems to be occurring in the East and South China Seas. And that is the reason why Japan is very much worried. And the Philippines and Vietnam are also worried. Lately, India has started to get worried because it's got a sense of ownership, if I may use that word, maybe strong, but nonetheless, over what they say Indian Ocean region. So India and Japan have come along of late and agreed on building their own respective capacities to provide the freedom of navigation, provide safety and peace over this long stretch of sea lines of communication, and on which the Eastern Asian economies, including South Korea's, Japan's, Philippines, Indonesia, you name it, are so much dependent upon.
Great.
This country, Japan, has been in the economic doldrums for well over 20 years. If you have that sort of syndrome, you get fewer and fewer people that are optimistic about their own future. If you ask 20-something men and women in Japan and ask whether tomorrow definitely is going to be brighter than today, you know, they will scratch their heads. I hope so, but I don't know. You know, that's sort of average attitude among the Japanese. This has to do with the prolonged economic malaise. So Japan cannot claim it is a net contributor to the international order, to the international peace and stability and prosperity. Japan is still bigger than Germany and the UK combined. They say Japan is the third largest country, following China. That's true. But if you look at the liberal democratic capitalist system, it's still number 2 for that matter. So for Japan to grow bigger matters not just for the Japanese domestic population, but also to the entire world. You may recall, well, Japan has said things like this before. Can they deliver? Well, that's a legitimate question, because at the end of the day, you have had 5 or 6 prime ministers whose names I have a hard time to remember myself. So is this time going to be different? And jury is still out, but let's look at the upcoming elections for the upper house. It's due on 21st July this year, and suppose Abe Administration can carry the elections and have a majority in the upper house, then for the first time in many, many years, the ruling party is going to be a sizable majority in both houses. Then there is going to be no twisted government between the parliament and the administrative branch. So until the next election is due 3 years from now, and that's going to be a very much good ideal time slot in which Prime Minister Abe and his cabinet can concentrate their political capital. That's surely going to be bigger than anyone else's in the previous, in the recent memory, to focus on the economic vitalization.